Let's get ready to rumble! Naruto fans, get ready for the battle of your life. We have gathered every single Kage throughout Naruto history to answer one question. Who is the strongest Kage of all time? To answer this question, we're going to compare jutsu, feats, raw power, strength, and more, and by the end, we will have our champion. Now, to be considered, the individual must have been an official Kage on the 5 Kage Summit. So, if you're a Hoshikage fan, well, better luck next year. Other than that, our competitors are ready. Hailing from the land of clouds lies the 5th Raikage Darui, who is, unfortunately, the first to go in our Kage fight. However, this ranking doesn't truly represent the man Darui is, as he is immensely powerful. Enough so that he was able to take on Momoshiki Otsutsuki before he ate Kinshiki as a snack. Darui's specialty is Black Lightning, allowing him to use techniques such as Lightning Release Black Panther that electrifies anyone who comes into contact with it. If that doesn't get you, he also has Storm Release Laser Circus up his sleeve. With this attack, Darui can shoot beams of energy at multiple enemies with pinpoint accuracy. Along with being a master swordsman, Darui easily beats out the 15 other Kage who didn't make this list. Alright, this one hurts a bit, because next on our list is none other than Kakashi Hatake. Now don't get me wrong, I myself am a huge Kakashi fan, and Kakashi deserves all the credit in the world. However, Kakashi faces a huge problem at the time of being Hokage. He no longer has the Sharingan, meaning that Kamui is gone. And attacks such as Lightning Blade can no longer be done without suffering the side effects such as tunnel vision. Up against our later entries, Kakashi may find trouble, giving reason to why he's taken his seat now. However, Sharingan or not, Kakashi is still a strategic genius in his own right, still has access to every jutsu he's copied, and with his new jutsu Purple Lightning, he still knows the fastest way to a girl's heart. Until Naruto poked his head in, the 4th Raikage was considered the fastest shinobi alive after Minato's passing due to his lightning release chakra mode. In this form, A's already impressive speed increases to a level where he's able to dodge Sasuke's Amaterasu and the Sharingan fails to track his movement. Encased in a shroud of lightning, attacks that should be fatal, like Chidori, become nothing more than a scratch, and his strength increases tenfold. Specializing in Nin Taijutsu, a combination of Nin and Taijutsu, A's barrage of wrestling-style attacks such as Liger Bomb, Guillotine Drop, and Chops are enough to break through Sasuke's Susanoo ribcage and would have likely ended Sasuke's reign of terror if it wasn't for Gaara making the save. Anyone taking on the 4th Raikage should not take him lightly. Overtaking the 4th Raikage is the dead-ridden Hokage herself, Tsunade. In a head-to-head battle, of course, A has his speed, lightning armor, and everything else we just mentioned. However, while he can inflict major damage, Tsunade has the ninja art Creation Rebirth Strength of 100 technique, which essentially allows her to autonomously heal any injury without hand sign or effort as long as she has the chakra. And chakra she has. In her fight against Madara, even after using the Strength of 100 technique and eventually getting split in half, she still had enough chakra to summon Katsuyu to save the other Kage. Now we should mention too that her overall strength is enough to break through Madara's Susanoo. Her strength, durability, and huge chakra reserves wins her this fight. Both as a character and in strength, Gaara is the definition of character development. Overall, Gaara is considered to be Sunagakure's strongest Kazekage, and we need to note that his strength is his own, unlike in Part 1 where he had Shukaku. Famed to have absolute defense, Gaara's strength lies in his ability to fight at a distance and his use of sand as his choice of sword and shield. As a shield, the sand will automatically protect him from any attack, and if something does get through, what appears to be Gaara's skin is actually armor made of sand. As his sword, Gaara has a plethora of jutsu at his disposal, most with the concept of trapping opponents in waves of sand, capturing them, and crushing them. Famed for his cruel treatment of the Hidden Mist village, or nicknamed Bloody Mist, the Three Tails Jinchuriki and 4th Mizukage Yagura Karatachi is a foe not to mess with. and is also the perfect counter to Gaara's sand as a master of water release. With his large hook-ended club, Yagura could create water mirrors that captures and materializes an opponent's reflection and jutsu, negating that attack completely. If really in a pickle, Yagura's true power lies in the fact that he is a perfect Jinchuriki, meaning that he has full control over the Three Tails Isobu. This control results in Yagura being able to transform into what is called version 2, or becoming the full Three Tails itself. If that happens, it means tailed beast bombs for everyone. Known amongst fans as the Trollkage, the second Mizukage, Gengetsu Hozuki, is a man who loves a good fight, praising anyone who can show him a good time. Specializing in water release, Gengetsu's jutsu ranges between aggravating and annoying. He himself can liquefy his body at any moment, making the guy impossible to hit. The water in his body is composed of oil, which renders sand completely useless. Using a chibi-like clone of himself, Gengetsu's jutsu, Steaming Danger Tyranny, creates an unending cycle of explosions as his clone continuously heats itself up till explosion, then cools, restarting the process over again. And then there's his giant clam summoning, which can produce a genjutsu to create realistic apparitions of itself and hide it and Gengetsu's location, causing mass confusion on the battlefield. The Trollkage, everyone. Rival to the second Mizukage, the second Tsuchikage, Muu is hands down one of the strongest Kage to exist, largely due to his Keke Tota dust release. Dust release is the combination of earth, fire, and wind natures, and when combined, results in the complete disintegration of anything and everything his beam of light touches. In terms of defense, Muu is definitely covered too. At any time, he can split his body into two to avoid lethal blows at the cost of reducing his power in half. With earth release, he's able to make his body light enough to float, and with water release, he can completely erase his presence and chakra from detection. Renowned as the non-person, any shinobi and Kage should be aware. He might be right behind you. Creator of Shadow Clone Jutsu, Impure World Reincarnation, and Flying Thunder God, Tobirama's strength is said to be on par with Madara Uchiha's before he obtained the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. He's a master of all 5 elemental releases and both yin and yang releases, can perform jutsu with one-handed signs, and is an astounding sensor who can detect the presence and scale of an enemy just touching his finger to the ground. There is a long debate, and trust me, I have read every message board on whether or not Tobirama could actually defeat Muu. The second Tsuchikage does have some advantages with being able to completely hide his presence, however, needing to drop his facade to use dust release gives Tobirama plenty of time to use Flying Thunder God and Flying Thunder God Slash, which took down Izuna Uchiha to end the fight. The history of the Third Raikage is one filled with stories of pure dominance. Alone, Lord Third continuously faced and beat the Eight Tails anytime Gyuki ran wild. Oh, and just before we continue, to avoid confusion, the third and fourth Raikages both are named A. It's father and son, they kept the same name, it's cute, whatever. So, we're talking about the third Raikage, not the fourth. Anyway, in the Third Shinobi War, A single-handedly fought 10,000 shinobi for 3 consecutive days and won. His ability to use lightning release chakra mode far surpasses his son's, the fourth Raikage, resulting in speeds that allow him to dodge attacks such as the Rasen Shuriken and enhance his durability to high enough heights that he's been dubbed the strongest shield. His greatest attack is Hell Stab, where he concentrates chakra into his fingertips, and with a thrusting motion similar to Chidori, can cut down any opponent who stands in front of him, including each one of Gyuki's tails. At the time of the 4th Grade Ninja War, Onoki was hovering around 80 years old and was still holding his own against the Army of the Dead, giving reason to why he's so high up on our list. Much like our next entry, if he could do this now, what could Onoki do in his prime? Like his predecessor, Onoki is a master of the Keke Tota dust release and is highly proficient in earth release. With Earth Release, Onoki can create rock-style clones, golems that can easily rip through a white Zetsu, and completely change the landscape. On top of all that, it allows him to completely change the weight of an object, allowing him to perform such feats as stopping Madara's Tengai Shinsei with Gaara's assistance and lifting Turtle Island. In his second run as Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi was 60 to 70 years old and still held his own against Orochimaru and a reanimated Hashirama and Tobirama Senju. In his prime, Hiruzen was considered the third god of Shinobi and was nicknamed the Professor due to his mastery and knowledge of every jutsu in Konohagakure and his ability to deduce the mechanics of any jutsu just by seeing it once. His strength is said to have been stronger than that of Tobirama, base form Hashirama, and any other living Kage. Now I know this could be considered hearsay because we never got to see Hiruzen in his prime, but this legend exists for a reason. I mean, you don't think he'd make it all up, right? Right? When you hear the name Minato Namikaze, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it the fact that with his version of Flying Thunder God, Minato teleported behind enemy lines to single-handedly take down over 1,000 enemies? Is it that he was able to seal away half of the Nine Tails using the Reaper Death Seal after taking down Tobi and releasing the Nine Tails from his control? Or maybe it's that he's the creator of Rasengan. These are only a few of the many feats Minato carried in his storied but short-lived run as Hokage, which makes me think, what could Minato have been if he had lived longer? Lord Fourth left that idea little to imagine, as reincarnated, we saw he had the ability to enter Sage Mode, Nine Tails Chakra Mode, and could easily transport a Tailed Beast Bomb. Alright, let me just say this. If it wasn't for our next entry, Hashirama Senju would take this Kage battle hands down, no questions asked. As the sole master of the wood release Kekkei Genkai, having massive pools of chakra and regenerative abilities, Hashirama's power seems endless. He can create giant wood structures capable of leveling an entire landscape and defend from attacks such as tailed beast bombs. Unlike shadow clones, his wood-style clones won't disappear after taking little to no damage. By combining his wood style with Senjutsu, Hashirama can use his ultimate technique, Sage Art Wood Release True Several Thousand Hands, which summons a titanic-sized structure capable of pommeling Madara's Susanoo. This is just scratching the surface on the power that Hashirama holds in his hands, but it is definitely enough to take down any shinobi. Once again, taking the top spot amongst the Kage is Naruto Uzumaki. Obtaining half of the Sage of Six Paths chakra in the Fourth Great Ninja War, honestly, it seems like Naruto is out of reach of any shinobi. Let's hit the checklist, shall we? 1. Six Paths Sage Mode, which can be combined with Nine Tails Chakra Mode, boosting Naruto's speed, strength, durability, and sensing ability, enough so that he's able to see Madara's invisible shadows in the world of Limbo. 2. His chakra pool runs deep, and he has access to all 9 of the Tailed Beast's chakra, including each Tailed Beast's elemental releases. 3. Naruto is deceptively a strategic genius whose unorthodox ways of approaching battle makes him the most formidable foe. Need I say more? Without a doubt, Naruto is the strongest Kage of all time. That's 2 for 2 for Naruto, but his luck may soon run out. We have to give a quick shout out to the Shadow Hokage of the Leaf, Sasuke Uchiha, who was left off this list for not being an official Hokage. Truly, who do you think wins that fight?